Hey guys, welcome to Moving Kashyyyk Part 1, and this is probably one of the saddest videos I have to make on this channel. So this is the video where I take Kashyyyk apart, guys. This is that video. It is here finally. So yeah, quick history on Kashyyyk. Built this for 2 years. One of my most, not even one of the most, it is the most popular series I've ever made on this channel. Probably a combined 5 million views over this 57 weeks of videos, 57 different videos showing the building of Kashyyyk, with the finale topping over 1 million views. It is by far one of my greatest series I have ever made, and it is one of my favorite mocks I've ever made. And on top of all of that, it is the biggest mock I have ever made. How many ever mades can I say? My point is my heart and soul was in this mock, and now I have to take it apart, and it really kind of hurts. Not gonna lie to you guys, I am a little emotional in my heart right now, because this has stayed exactly the way it was shown when I finished the finale for the last, what would that be? Probably about 9 months now since the finale video was posted, so it's been exactly the same, has not been touched or altered in any way since then. But as you also can tell in this room, everything has been emptied because it all went to the new apartment. And Kashyyyk will not be going with me to that apartment. So, where is Kashyyyk going? It is going to BrickFair Virginia, guys. You guys had voted in my summer update video. I asked you guys, do you want me to bring it? And overwhelmingly, I got thousands of responses saying yes. So, I am definitely 100% bringing Kashyyyk to BrickFair. However, the reason why I'm so kind of sad about it is it will not be returning to this location after BrickFair. It is going to be boxed up and possibly semi-destroyed after BrickFair. I haven't decided on that yet. So there's going to be about 2 or 3 parts of moving Kashyyyk. This first part, what we're going to be focusing on today, is basically prepping Kashyyyk for moving. So this is something I don't think any YouTuber really talks about, is the moving part. If you take a giant mock like this to a Lego convention, how do they do it? And so this is actually going to be kind of a cool series, or mini series, just to say, because it's only going to be about 2 or 3 parts at max. 4 actually, probably at max, but I really doubt it would go past that. Anyhow, so here's what we're going to be doing today, guys. We're going to take all the figures. Little stuff like these things right here, all the vehicles come off, all the figures that I carefully placed and everything, all the vehicles, things like this back here, the Kashyyyk command center thing, this goes, the bridge goes, little pieces that I think will break off, I'll take that off in the front. In the back, I'm not going to focus as much in the back, but I am taking all the figures and vehicles off. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do this today or not, and this part is taking, okay, so I should probably get on to how exactly I'm going to move Kashyyyk. So, okay, so first off, like I said, I'm going to take all the figures off and all that, but before I even do anything, before I touch anything, I'm going to take 1 billion pictures of this thing, exactly vertical pictures, all the little details, so that way I can get it perfectly right when I bring it to BrickFair. By the way, BrickFair, just heads up for you guys, BrickFair Virginia, it's very close to Washington, D.C. It's like 30 minutes from the D.C. area. So if you live on the East Coast of the U.S. or somehow are in the D.C. area of August 6th and 7th, you can see Kashyyyk in person. And this will be when I bring the Kashyyyk mock to BrickFair, it will be the last time, most likely, probably an 80% chance it's the last time this thing will ever be fully put together ever again. So if you have the opportunity to go to BrickFair, I highly recommend you do. And if you do go to BrickFair, Kashyyyk will be actually not in the mock area, it'll actually be at my vendor booth, Minifix for You. And in part 2, I'll cover exactly where it'll be in the location and stuff like that, but it's going to be in my vendor booth. It's not going to be with the rest of the mocks. I had to especially get permission from the guy who owns BrickFair, and he said that would be okay. So and there's specific reasons why I'm putting this mock in my vendor booth. It goes into a bigger reason. I won't talk about that now. I'll talk about that in part 2. So like I said, this will be at BrickFair. If you have the opportunity to go to BrickFair, I highly recommend you do. Because like I said, if you have been watching Kashyyyk over the last 2 years, you know, I think it's pretty cool to see it in person because this thing's huge. And it's, like I said, it's one of the last times they'll be put together. So right now, when I take all these figures up and stuff like that, this is it. The way it is right now, it will never be put together like this, at least in this room, ever again. Okay, enough ranting. So let's recap. Take pictures of the entire mock. Then I'm going to take all the figures and vehicles off, including these things right here, these little, I don't even know what they're exactly called. But yeah, anyhow, bridge, command center, also coming off. We're going to try to do the 3rd floor today. I have a time-lapse camera set up right there, so you guys get to see the whole time-lapse of me taking it apart. And then hopefully by the end, we'll get this, at least this first section right here, should be split up right here, right there. It'll be split up that way, and we'll take that apart, hopefully. We can get that done today. As for the water, I haven't decided whether I'm going to just scoop it all back up and put it in cups, or whether I'm going to try to like maybe seal it as best as possible and just keep it the way it is. I'll probably end up taking it up because if a couple of these things get loose during the transit of moving, all of these things are going to go everywhere, and there's at least 30,000 little pieces right here in the front alone. So that's just going to be an annoyance later on if I do leave them. However, we're not going to worry about that today. We will worry about that in part 2. Part 2 is definitely going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so like I said, we're going to get all the figures, all that stuff off. In terms of dividing the mock, taking the tree apart, those sections, I think we're going to wait till part 2 when we actually have the wooden crates built. So that way you can figure out, okay, this needs to be exactly like this, blah, blah, blah. So yeah. Alright guys, so let's get on to actually that first part. I'm going to take pictures right now, and then I'll do a time lapse of me taking the figures off. I'll take a break in with, I have my other video camera here. I'll show you guys what it kind of looks like once I take it all off again. What it looks like all blanked out basically. And yeah, so this is an emotional experience, guys. This is the final time, at least in this room, that Kashyyyk will ever be like this ever again. Like I said, once BrickFair is done, and I am, you know, bringing this to BrickFair, and it'll be hopefully as close to what it looks like right now. I'm going to try to make it like 1-to-1 exactly, including how the figures are set up. Once that is done, I don't know where Kashyyyk is going after this. It's not going to my apartment because I want to build my next mock after this, and I'm not sure whether I want to keep it together. I know for a fact I'm not going to destroy the trees because they're just really cool looking. As for the mountain and all that stuff back there, that is what I'm debating about taking apart. Because those are a lot of useful pieces that I could use on my next mock. So I haven't decided that yet. That is something we will certainly talk in part 3. So part 2, like I said, we'll actually be putting these things into like I said, I'm creating 3 wooden crates, 2 giant wooden trays. And that's what part 2 is going to be about. And part 2 is also going to show the moving, you know, putting it in the back of a truck, taking it downstairs, all that stuff. That'll be the real fun part. And then part 3 will be setting up at BrickFair and taking it back home. That's at least how I plan it out to be. It might extend into part 4. Alright guys, you've heard enough of me talking. You know, I just want to say one last thing. If you guys go back to building Kashyyyk, week 1, it was right here, right where I'm standing. I was leaning against this table, just like this. The camera was right there. And I was telling you guys, this is going to be my next big Kashyyyk mock. It's only going to take 26 weeks, which took double that, obviously. You know, I was talking about how this is going to be something bigger than I've ever done before, and it really turned into something else. And I am so proud of this, and I'm so happy that you guys liked it as much as I did. And the overwhelming response from this was just ultimately positive, and it's sad to take it apart now, because it's really something. It really is. Okay, see it at BrickFair, guys. I really, really recommend you see it at BrickFair because I put my heart and soul in this thing. I still think I can do better than this, and we'll see in future mocks, but this is really freaking cool looking in my opinion. This is it, guys. We take it apart now. Okay guys, just wanted to take a quick break from the time lapse. These are all the vehicles that are that were in Kashyyyk. So yeah, this is all of them together, including the destroyed droid tank there. So yeah, I mean, it kind of looks cool actually. I don't know, find it, and the other things are over there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, kind of looks kind of cool. It especially looks cool when you take all the figures are with the figures still on and all the vehicles off. You get a much clearer picture of just how epic of a battle this is. So yeah, I don't know, it's pretty cool looking in my opinion. These spaces right here are obviously where the droid tanks would be. So Corporate Alliance tanks. So it looks pretty cool. I don't know. I wanted to show this to you guys because I had put the vehicles on before I had put the figures on when I was finishing this part. So I don't know. It looks kind of neat. Just figured I'd show this to you guys, what Kashyyyk looks like without all the vehicles on it. I don't know. Looks pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, just wanted to take a quick break from that time lapse, and I guess now's the time where we take all these figures off now. So get a good last look. Next time they'll be on this mock is in BrickFair. So yeah, let's get them off. Okay guys, so it's pretty much clear in terms of minifigures and vehicle wise. So you also might notice during the time lapse I was putting these green plants down right here, and now you'll see them right across here. Okay, so the ones in the water right here are clear. It just helps me clarify where the clear piece is where the vehicle's set, so that's why there's some green leaves in the thing right there. Now these green leaves down this way, all the way up, that tells me where this is going to split off. That is the splitting point. So that means I didn't actually see this until now. That means I have to, this little trench I kind of made, it's going to be a little bit of a problem. Not too big, but I am going to have to take part of it apart. As you can kind of see how it goes down that way. That trench is fine. This one kind of is right on the line. And then over here, this just tells me where, you can see right here where the basement splits right here. And so that's just telling me, hey, this is where the basement kind of sits. And I think it just barely, you know, I need to get a gray base plate, but I think it just cuts off like right there. Because it goes from here to here. So I don't know, this will be interesting. It just sits on this one gray base plate, this tree right here. So it's a little bit of a math game. So and then these two sections from here to here, it's one green base plate. You can kind of see it kind of right here, and then on a gray base plate. So it's a green and gray, and this section will be pretty much go out, I think, to like here, and it'll come out like that or something like that. I have the Kashyyyk video where I basically built all of this. I can look back at that, which I probably will, just so I understand where the trees exactly are sitting on. and what base plates will need to be split up and such like that. So that is what's going on. Again, it looks so crazy to see it like this again, all empty and stuff like that. And then you also notice over here up at the top, I took the command center. I was figuring out some of the wiring. There's one wire right here that goes through and connects to these lights, so I'll have to pull that up. And then there's another wire that goes down into these lights down here. That's fine, that wire can stay. This wire, however, that goes, it runs right here, right through here. That'll have to be pulled up, so I have to kind of pull up a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more work. I'll probably finish off, take all the minifigures out of the back and any of that other stuff. I don't think I'm going to do, well, I'll take the elevator off. I'm not sure if I'll take this third floor off right here. Because like I said, what I was talking about earlier is, you see it's this one section, see it ends right here, this whole thing can kind of pop off. But you'll see, you know, line of sight right there, you'll see that this mountain's right here. So I'll have to take this apart, which probably will be difficult because if you guys remember how I built it in here, it's like tons of brick layers in this, so it could prove difficult. So that's why I'm thinking about I'll probably get it done soon, but it may not be part of part of this video or the next video. So yeah, so that's that. So I think right now I'll get the minifigures in the back done, and then I'll split up this section and I'll call it a day. I don't think I'll take off the third floor today, and I think we'll call that part 1. So all right, let's finish up. Okay guys, I did a lot more destruction than I had planned on today, so extra destruction for this part. So as you'll see, this right here that you're looking at was where that was, so it's just kind of pulled forward, and then I split it up into 3 different sections by base plate. So this is one gray base plate, that's one gray base plate connected to this green base plate, 2 green base plates right here. So that's what that is. I just split it up the way I kind of, honestly, I wanted to see how it would split up by itself without me going and tearing it up myself, because it's actually kind of easier just to do this, because then it kind of just fits back together like a jigsaw puzzle. Although when you do this, you lose pieces, like stuff like this, but honestly that can be easily put back together. It's much more easy in my experience to do it this way than to peel up all the plates and then individually take it out, because then you have to go back and rebuild it a lot more. So that's that. And then here is the front. I really split it up. During the time lapse, you'll see it kind of skipped. That's because I was putting all of these in the bags. This is like, what, 6 bags worth of little studs right here. There's a lot of them. But anyhow, what I had to do is I went and got this clear storage container, and I took these two. It was mainly on these 2 things. Actually, it was on all of this. And so I split it up into 4 sections, and then took each section and dumped the remaining water studs, or whatever, the trans clear studs, or into there. And so I did that by each base plate. I actually had to have someone help me with that, because it was tricky to turn them exactly. So yeah, so it's all split up now, and it just looks so weird. Seeing it like this. I've never seen Kashyyyk like this before, so it's very strange to see it like that. So yeah, and then I went ahead and split up this section, and then you'll notice right here that it's perfectly like green and stuff like that. It's like kind of perfectly split up. That's because that's the section right there that I took to BrickFair last year, and so when I put the section back in during the Kashyyyk series, I left it as is in case I had to resplit it. So obviously it worked out in this situation. So this section right here is already ready to, all I have to do is peel up on that side, and that's ready to go and be put in its crate. This section, however, a little more tricky because, so actually I did find out, there's the end of the base plate. It just barely fits on right there. How convenient. So that means I only have to leave this one base plate right here. It will be a little tricky getting this up because I think some of this stuff, see, some of these things are part of this mountain, and obviously there's no moving the mountain. So I will have this will be taking this tree off the off this part will be a little tricky, but I think it's still manageable. Obviously the mountain, the mountain part, all this back part right here will be in its one crate, and then all of this that way will all come up because it's on a separate base plate. And then you'll see I took out the elevator. It was actually way easier than I thought it was going to be. Dead simple. So this part right here, this third floor, is pretty much ready to be taken off, but we're going to wait till the second part to do that. So this will just pop on off, and then we'll split this whole, like that whole section off. We'll split that off, and we'll split that off, and then we'll have all of our sections all split, and then we can put everything in the crates, and it'll be all nice and dandy. So yeah, I think we got a lot done for this first moving Kashyyyk, so I'm very happy with it. And here's all the stuff that I took off Kashyyyk. And oh, there's the elevator. It's still perfectly assembled. I don't even think I'm going to take it apart. I'll just leave it the way it is right there. I think that's just so funny that it stays exactly the way I built it. Engineering at its finest, everybody. But yeah, so there is everything. It's a lot of stuff. Really is. So yeah, this will all have to be wrapped up in bubble wrap and put in the clear bins like that. And then this stuff, all of these things can be stacked up in the bins. Same with this. And then obviously the two trees will be in their crates. That one section will have to be stacked up, and this whole part will be in its tray. So there you guys go. It is actually, I thought it was going to be a little more tricky, this first part, but it wasn't as hard as I expected it to be. So this is a great start. Nothing really bad happened. Cross my fingers that nothing continues to happen bad wise. Hopefully good things will come out of moving this thing. So yeah, all right, we'll go ahead and end it off. Okay, everybody, so that was the first part of moving Kashyyyk. Boy, we got a lot done this part. I thought I was only going to just do this one section. Ended up taking that whole part out. Ended up taking the waterfall down right here, as you can see. And then, all down right here, just all of these Lego sets got to be packed up. I can't believe, when I look at all these sets down here, I just can't believe all of this was packed onto this. So it's kind of crazy, very mind-blowing, overwhelming to me. I'm very happy that the elevator right here came out very smoothly. That was nice. Like I said like 2 seconds ago, this part right here will come up. This back part will come off, and then it'll just be this mountain this way as one crate, and then this section right here for the tree, that little section for that tree, and then this section from here to here, these three base plates will be just another thing to, like these, that'll split apart and stuff like that. So it shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, this was I would say fairly successful first part, because nothing really bad happened where I'm like, oh crap, now I have to rebuild this whole thing or something. I mean, obviously I have to rebuild it, but nothing like severely bad, like the tree fell down or something like that. Like nothing bad like that happened. So we're on the right track, everybody. So part 2, we're gonna bring in the wooden crates. I'm gonna get all this finished up, split apart and stuff like that, and the third floor will come apart, and then we'll get everything in the crates and pack it all into the car and get it ready for BrickFair, and then it'll make its way to the convention. And I'll try to do as much recording at the convention as possible, but obviously my main focus will just be on rebuilding this thing because it's so big and because it's going to take a whole day to rebuild it. It's very easy to take things apart. It's not so easy to put it back together. So I'm sure I'll run into difficulties while putting it back together. I expect it to take a whole day to put it everything back the way it was with all the figures, all the vehicles, all the sections back together, if everything's sturdy and whatnot. So yeah, all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It is a difficult process, but you know, we're making some good stuff right here, guys. We're doing good. So yeah, I'll also be back with a lot of bins, because you know, all that stuff over there, all those vehicles and all that all has to be put up, as well as all the stuff. I originally, at the beginning of the video, I told you guys there was going to be a giant tray for this. I think I'm going to skip that now, since I can basically, it's all split up into modular sections. I can just put it all honestly in one big bin, which is probably what I'll end up doing. So yep, that's going to be it, guys. Brick separator was my best friend in this episode. Highly recommend you have one of these. They come in like all the big Lego sets, and they're like I don't know, $3 at the Lego store. If for some reason you don't have one, it came in very handy for a lot of things throughout this episode. So that'll be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I spent 5 hours destructing Kashyyyk. So that'll be it, guys. I'll see you guys in part 2. Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.